Whenever you see wedges in the stock market, it's going to be a time that money can be made. So close to getting the sell-off. So close, guys. Adding a little bit right here. See if we get the sell-off here. If we take a look at past chart history pattern, that's going to help us give our answers. Take a look right here. Day 2 of 2024. Now, what is today going to bring? I mean, I can't tell you. All I can say is we got to be prepared. All I got to say is we have to be ready. And today is all about just locking in those profits when we have them. Traders, yesterday, we were able to make over $500. Today, we want to replicate that. I'm not looking to make $50,000 today. I'm not. I'm looking to go every single day going to the green. Go green, take profits, walk away. Take green, take profits, walk away. Get green, take profits, walk away. That's what I want to do, guys. That's how I want to trade. I don't want to be putting myself in bad positions. I don't want to be holding and hoping. I want to be able to say, this is a trade I want. This is a trade I like. I'm going to jump in on it. I'm going to take my gains, and I'm going to be willing to walk away. So day after day after day, we want to go green. And let's talk about where we are able to make some money already today. If you guys are not here in the mornings, I'm going to let you guys know something right now. You want to be here in pre-market. Pre-market. I already jumped in on DYN. DYN, I shorted this play at the crack of the purple line. So I already have one trade underneath my belt. I was able to make $317. Now, this was all the way at the time of 7:18 in the morning at the price of $25.59. Then DYN, I got out about $3 later at $22.42. That was able to come out to a $316 profit. Now, I was very happy with this gain. I was very happy with this profit because this is all I did, traders. All I did was wake up. I saw that DYN went all the way from $13 to $30. It hit once, it got rejected. It hit twice, it got rejected. Hit a third time, came back on down. I saw that we had an uptrend. I jumped in the moment we started going underneath this purple line. The moment we went underneath this purple line, we went from $26 to $25 to $24 to $23, all the way down to $22. I really did have almost the perfect entry. We went from $26, I jumped in at $25.59, and then held it all the way down to $22.42. $22.42 is right next to the bottom before we actually got to bounce back on up. Now you can see it crashed even lower and lower, but I'm already starting off my day in the green. If I wanted to, I could walk away and say, hey, you know what? Another day in the green of 2024. I want to go ahead and wrap this one on up and go out and enjoy my day. Remember, team, always have that calculator game ready. The calculator game is there is 252 days in the stock market. You times that by 316. Look at that. There's an $80,000 salary. So what I did already this morning, there's an $80,000 salary. Pretty nuts to think about, isn't it? Pretty crazy how that can be able to add on up. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to just consistently every day not go for giant home run hits, but just add up my gains, add up my profits, add up to see how much money can I truly make over these next, few days, few weeks, few years, right? I want to be as smart as we can. So let's see what else we have going on with this day. Well, as of now, traders, NEXI is the #1 top gainer. Now, there is no news on NEXI right now. When we take a look over on this play over on NEXI, what are you guys realizing? Okay, Deck, this stock is currently up 200% and we have no news on this play. So this is a little bit tricky. I take a look over on NEXI. I can obviously see we do have this very nice uptrend. Very nice uptrend, very nice move, but there's no news on it. There's no reason whatsoever that we have gone from $2 and we have spiked all the way up towards $7.20. Isn't that kind of nuts to think about? Why? Why is NEXI getting this type of move right here? Which basically makes me think that it probably has a low float and maybe social media is grabbing it right now and basically pumping it on up, pumping it on up, pumping it on up. Because when I take a look over on NEXI, I can see that we have this 202% gap up, less than 1 million in float, no news on it whatsoever. Once this uptrend starts cracking, there is a great chance that we do go from the bullish side to the bearish side, just like what we saw over on DYN. DYN, you guys could see right here, we did have the bullish side, and then we cracked over to the bearish side. I wouldn't be shocked if we see something along those lines that reminisces DYN, where we could see NEXI right here. Here's the bullish side. Once we cross on over, we could head on over to the bearish side. So NEXI, is this a stock that we could be able to get ourselves involved in? Let's just double check here. NEXI, we do have to locate shares if we want to. They're not extremely expensive. You are going to need about a 17-cent move though to be able to make back your profit. So NEXI, how high can this one go up to? Well, if we take a look at past chart history pattern, that's going to help us give our answers. NEXI, let's take a look at the past chart history here. When I look at past chart history, I can realize something that is kind of standing out to me. I'm going to take a look all the way back here. This is all the way back in 2022 in July. Notice we have a gap up. We have a gap up, a big morning spike, and then we actually finish in the red. Okay, take a look right here. Here's a large gap up. Here's a morning spike, and then you can actually see we finished in the red. Okay, how about right here? Right here, there is a nice gap up. Here's a nice morning spike, and then you can actually see we actually finished in the red. You can see we have a nice gap up. Here's a big spike. We actually finished in the green still, right? But we did have that big spike and then give it all back. So what is this essentially telling me? What this is telling me is NEXI, I don't want to go for a short one. What I would most likely want to do is wait for that spike. Wait for that spike up to $8.75. Wait for that spike up towards $10 because the odds are it's going to have a big spike and then probably give a lot of that spike back. Doesn't mean it's going to go all the way back down to nothing, but probably everything that it does get from the spike, it's probably going to give it all back. I'm looking at the past chart history to be able to figure out what's going to be happening. So NEXI, that is definitely an option that I want to be looking at for a nice spike towards like $9, $10, and then we can go ahead and look to short it to see this thing come back on down. Or if you want to buy it, you can realize there is a great opportunity for this one to go on a nice spike right at the start of the day. So looking at the past chart history pattern, that is going to be very awesome. That is going to be, very cool to be able to see. So NEXI right now, look at that ascending triangle pattern wedge. How cool is that, guys? Look how cool that wedge pattern is. Look how cool that setup is. So I would say if we get a pullback, we got 782, we have 812. A lot of times we do have pullbacks right back down towards like double bottoms, as we know. Still trying to spike on up though. We're still trying to move. We're still trying to rip. NEXI at this point looks like we have strength. NEXI, it's still moving pretty good. If you do get a pullback, maybe a slightly higher low, somewhere like 819 to maybe like 830. I'm definitely interested on getting involved on a quick little pullback and getting involved on a quick little bounce play. I'm watching for it here, team. So if I can get a dip buy, back on down towards this lower shadow, I will definitely take that and be happy with that. So I just got filled on my first entry right here, 819. 819, 250 shares. That's basically saying, Deck, why'd you just get filled at 819? That's going off the double bottom. So what I mean by a double bottom is that I am seeing that we had one bounce play right around that 815-ish mark, second bounce play right around that 815-ish mark. I just went 819 and that's where I was able to get filled. Now what I'm looking for is a nice big green candle all the way back up towards $9 plus. And if I can get filled with that nice big green candle all the way back up towards $9 plus, I can take my gains right there and just be happy. So guys, this is maybe what I'm talking about. NEXI, nice green candle so far. Can we be able to kind of extend that on up? Right now we're up 87, $107. And let's see if this can be able to pop on up towards, $9 plus. So let's see, can we be able to pop on up towards $9 plus? We can see NEXI, we did have the perfect entry right at 819. Little pullback, guys. I don't know if I like this upper shadow here. Notice how we still have a little bit of that downtrend. See how we have that little bit of a downtrend? Most likely what could happen is we have this. We might get a drop back on down, find like the wedge, and then, be able to squeeze in like 10 to 20 minutes. Notice how we are still holding this little double bottom area. Traders, I'll be honest, if we do not break this wedge within the next few moments, I will just say, take your gains and move on. If you cannot break that orange line, it will not be fun. Here comes the orange line break. Guys, orange line starting to break, and we're actually starting to go underneath it a little bit. Stay ready on this. We're trying to break that orange line. I'm taking my gains right here. It had an upper shadow, and it's going back underneath the orange line. So, hey, I'll take it. $106. We're up $423 on the day. NEXI, I'm probably going to start looking for shorts on this play pretty soon. Guys, NEXI, I just got filled on my first little short. This is one of those plays that does have this very nice downtrend, and if I can, I'm going to look to hold this play over on NEXI probably like throughout lunch hours. So NEXI getting a little bit of action. Deck, what would be like the best entry? As close as you can get to $8, the better over on NEXI. And I just want to see if NEXI is going to get a little bit of a pop and then a slow fade all the way back on down. So NEXI traders, I did just enter on a small short. And I want to basically, watch this, see if it's going to slowly fade all the way back on down, basically consolidate in like the 780s and then, kind of fade its way all the way back down lower and lower and lower. If I take a look at past chart history pattern, I don't even think it would spike again. You could see, look at this. Very big spike, gave back most of its gains. Very big spike, gave back most of its gains. You can see right here, NEXI, very big spike, gave back all of its gains. NEXI, very big spike, gave back all of its gains. NEXI, very big spike, gave back all of its gains. So I'm kind of just watching to see if NEXI is going to do something similar, you know, especially over the next few hours, which is going to be a little spike on up and then give back all of its gains as it fades all the way down towards, again, that $7 mark. So right now I do have an entry price right at $7.81, and I just want to see if this is going to be able to just, you know, fade and fall and drop all the way back down towards $7 and, you know, just keep getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And this is one of those plays that I would watch and wait, you know, throughout lunch hours. Back on up towards around $8. I want to see this back underneath that purple line area. Don't want to see this squeeze and break above that 840-ish mark. We don't want to get squeezed out on the wedge. We want to see basically drop right back on down into this, you know, purple trend line. NEXI is back inside this little tiny wedge at this moment. Let's see if this thing can start, you know, kind of getting a little bit of a fade. NEXI, we start going underneath 780. I'm going to start hammering down some shorts. NEXI, can we crack that 780 mark and actually get a little dump, guys? NEXI, so close to getting the sell-off. So close, guys. Adding a little bit right here. See if we get the sell-off here. See if we get the sell-off. I got 1,200 shares at this time. Want to see, can we be able to get that dump right now? 780 dump. That's what we want to see. 780 dump right in the wedge. 780 dump in the wedge. Down to the VWAP is the goal. 780 dump with the VWAP wedge. Whenever you see wedges in the stock market, it's going to be a time that money can be made. Now, being able to figure out if it's going to go on a huge spike or a huge dump is going to be tricky at times. But what can give you hints is which way is it leaning towards. We have this wedge. We're starting to crack underneath the wedge. If all of a sudden people start getting scared, they're going to sell this off right down towards around 725, 710. So right now I am leaning towards the short, 1,200 shares on the short side at 779, just waiting for basically the fear to come on in. Once again, fear comes on in, we go underneath 760, we are going to start seeing that weakness. So we're at 765, 750, 740. That's kind of what I'm talking about, guys. You know, we're starting to get this weakness, starting to get a drop. We're up $372. Now, again, let's see if we can go back on down here and see if we can go underneath that 750-ish mark. So we do have a lot of weakness, which is great. We had a nice little crack right here. Can we get weaker? Can we keep on fading? It's holding on up. We got the bids at 760. We got to go underneath 760 again. 765, trying to hold on up a little bit right here. I'm just going to be a smart trader, lock in my profits. All right, guys, I'm just going to lock in my profits, $316, just because we're not dumping huge at the moment. And we might actually still get the dump, but you know what? I'm up $517, and I think I am good, guys. I think I am good at this moment. Just made $517 on the day.